Hey, for your next assignment, you are going to use Google Drawing and an app slash website called Flipgrid to show and tell me about your favorite type of art. Now, this could be your favorite type of art to look at or your favorite type of art to make. It could be a style, for example, if you like realistic art or if you like art that uses your imagination, or it could be more of a technique or a medium. For example, I love drawing, or I like clay, I like photography, I like fabric art. It's totally up to you. So I've opened up a new Google Drawing and I'm going to insert image, search the web, and I'm going to search for just colorful background. You could search for something else. By using the built-in image search, it's going to show you photos that you have permission to use. You could make your own using the shape tool. If you wanted to just be a solid color, for example, you could just make a rectangle that's the same size as the screen. Pick whatever color you want. I like color. That's one of my favorite things. So I just searched for colorful background, kind of like this one. So you can click on it and hit insert or just double click. Then you're going to resize it to fill the space. You can crop it in a little bit if you don't want it to hang off the edge. I just move it a little bit at a time until you can see where the edge is. There we go. All right, so now I'm ready to start adding images. So if you use the search tools, once again, you could search for like an art supply, or you could search for a particular artist that you like. One of my favorite artists is Vincent van Gogh. So I'm going to search for Van Gogh and I'm going to see what comes up here. So that gives me some options, some pictures that he made. So I can pick one, double click it to insert it. And then that's really giant. I like to resize so I can fit several on there. I want you guys to add at least like 5 images would be good. You can angle it. I kind of like to do that so it looks like things are sitting on there. If you really want to make it look like it's sitting on there, you can go to format options and then add a drop shadow. So that's kind of fun because it makes it look like it's sitting on top of things. It's kind of subtle, but you can see it there. All right, I'm going to search again. If you wanted to have like an art supply with a transparent background where it's not going to show a white rectangle around it, I could search for paintbrush, transparent PNG. That's a file type. So if you search for that, then it will bring up options that hopefully are actually transparent. Sometimes they get labeled wrong. So there we go. I've got a paintbrush that lets my background show through. So you can just keep adding images till you have at least 5 in there. And then you should add some sort of a title. To make mine show up, I think I'm going to put it behind like a paint blob. So I'm going to keep the transparent PNG and say paint blob or paint splat, something like that, and we'll see what comes up here. So that gives me some options. I kind of like this one. You'll see it's in front of my paintbrush, so I'm going to right click and then change the order, send backward, and that puts the paintbrush back on top. So I can resize that however I want to. I'm going to move that paintbrush over here. I'm going to add a text box, so insert text box, and I can click and drag to show the space that I want to fill. I'm going to say my favorite kind of art. And I'm going to pick a font that I like. One of my favorites is Amatic, but you can see all sorts of different fonts in there. You can also view more if you don't like the original ones that show up. I'm going to make it nice and big. I want it to be centered. I want kind of art to be down there. I like that a lot. I can change the color of that font. And I can just kind of personalize it. So now I'm going to show you one that I already created earlier. So here I've added a lot of different images. If there's a picture that you can't find when you use the search tools, you can upload from your computer. So that's how I added these ones. I did insert image, upload from the computer, and then I was able to access pictures that I had already saved. Just double click, and then you're able to move it around and arrange it how you want to. So I have several images here of artists that I like, the style of artwork that I like. I added a watercolor paint tray because that's my favorite lately that's what I've been doing a lot. Um, I've got my text. So that's the basics of how you're going to create this image, which needs to be the first step. Okay, once you have your image created, your next step is to get started with Flipgrid. So I'm going to show you the basics there. You will have an invitation to add to the topic, which I called my favorite type of art, favorite kind of art. So you are going to hit the actions button and then select record a response. This is going to bring up the camera feature. Um, you can do this on your computer, or if you want to download the app, you're able to use that. It has the same tools. So this should be helpful no matter what. And I'm going to hide this a little bit there. Start to show you your options. So you can hit effects, and then this will allow you to apply a filter. So if you want to make yourself colorful or black and white or even pixelated or two colors, there's a lot of options there. I would like to be able to see your face personally, but you can do something different if you want. I'm going to go with a rainbow because I'm a color person. I can hit this little back button to go and see what my other options are. There are frames, so if you want to add a border that goes all the way around, you can click on that and see how it looks. Depends on how crazy you want to get. You don't, oh, that's very interesting. You don't have to use any of these, but you can. I kind of like that one. So I'm going to go back. You can add emojis. So if you wanted to add, glasses on yourself, for example, you have to sit in the same spot, but you can add accessories. You can add regular emojis too. It's whatever you want to do. The thing I want to show you right now, though, is to use the board. This will allow you to split your screen. So there are different options here. And when you do that, it's going to pop up so that you have room to add something else over here. Even more rainbow. So yeah, you can pick one of these if you want to split your screen, which is what I'm going to recommend to be able to add your image. So that'll work. Oh, and you can adjust how much of your screen shows. So that's up to you, however that looks the best. Another thing I'm going to go back and do is I'm going to mirror my video because it's a little more natural how you're moving, so you don't have to think about it being opposite. All right, so back to effects. I'm going to add the photo. So you'll make sure to download your image when you're done in Google Draw. And then I can go to where it was saved. Mine's just in the downloads folder because I forgot to click documents. So now I have this image and I can move it over to the side and resize it so that I have plenty of room to see. Okay. The next thing I want to add is some text. So when you click on text, it's going to let you choose your style, and you can personalize these no matter what you pick. So I'm just going to click one to start with, and then I can start to type some words that describe the type of art or the style of art that I like. You can give your text a background if you want to. You can change the color. You can add a stroke, which means like a colorful outline around it. It's totally up to you. You can change the font. And when you're done, just click on something and then you can start to move it around. So I'm going to add a couple more pieces of text that describe some of the styles of art that I like. I like portraits a lot lately. You can move it around. You can change the size by dragging the corners, and you just have a lot of options here. Okay. So when you are happy with it, I want to add an emoji here real quick. I'm going to add a rainbow because I want to say colorful as one of my options. So you can layer the emojis on top of it. You can add more photos here. There's a lot you can do to customize it. You just play around with it until you are happy with how it looks. Colorful. And then once you have that part done, you've kind of designed it. The next thing you're going to do is hit the camera. You're going to hit the record button. It's going to start in 3, 2, 1, and I'll show you my example. My favorite type of art is varied. I like a lot of different styles of art. I tend to like two-dimensional artwork. I've been doing a lot of portraits myself lately. I love painting. But really, for me, I pick whatever I think is going to work best for the idea. Sometimes I do collage, it just depends. And I love to look at all different styles of art. I especially love art that's colorful. I love art that has texture and it makes me want to like touch it or I can imagine how it feels. I like artwork that has layers and I like artwork that has an idea behind it or it's communicating something, even if that idea was, I thought this was beautiful and I wanted to show you. So those are some of my favorite kinds of art. When you're done, you'll pause the recording and you can see at the top here, it shows how much time is left. So I recorded with 14 seconds left over. If I wanted to go back and add to it, I could. But I want it to be at least 30 seconds. It can't be longer than a minute. So 30 to 60 seconds is your goal here. And then, let's see if I can move this so I can see. I'm going to hit next. That's where I can edit it if I need to. I'm just going to skip over that because I don't need to do any editing right now. It's going to display your name and you can add, more information there if you want to, but as long as I can see your name, you're good to go. So you'll hit submit and then I should be able to see your video once you've turned it in. It's going to upload it, so don't close until it's done and you'll be good to go. Success!